So, thanks, Alice. So, like Silas talked to you guys last class, we are going to be talking about management tools, right? Um, Silas already walked you guys through the Scrum ceremonies and all that. So, I'm pretty sure you guys are good on that part, and hopefully, you guys did review that part. So, these are some of the management tools that are used in the IT world to kind of track work. First of all, generate reports, so that the company that you're going to be working for is going to basically get paid based on the type of work you guys put in, right? So mostly in the agile world, right? These are some of the management tools that we use um, um, in the IT world, right? So the first question everyone asks is, what is a management tool, right? Um, the management tool is an entity of instruments, right, used to support implementation of concepts and ideas at all levels to ultimately aiming to support organization processes, right? So, quick question, someone would say, well, Godfrey, I don't understand what you just read to me, right? So, to break it down, think of it as like, your timesheet, right? When you guys go into work, you guys all have a timesheet that you have to fill. Some of them have, back in the days, we used to do it on a sheet of paper. You have to write it down and say, hey, I came in at this date, took a break at this time, and so on and so forth, right? Um, so think of it this way. The explanation itself, right? Management tool. So it's used to manage like, several entities, right? So we have a timesheet management, so on and so forth, right? A lot of management tools that we use to just keep track of the work that we do. Think of your supervisor, right? Making sure that you're in at work, making sure that you're doing what you said you're doing, right? That's what your manager mostly does. Did I hear someone say something? If you're, can you guys hear me? Or I'm just talking?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, okay. Oh, it's just a quiet class. You guys scared of me? Did I scare you guys off?
No.
No. Okay. I'm not that scary. Okay, that's good. Who is nodding his head? I haven't seen you guys. Hey, Yolanda. How you doing?
Fine.
I saw that you were giving Silas and the rest of them a tough time. Hopefully you're not gonna give me a tough time here, right?
No, you're my favorite.
All right. So, what are some of the types of management tools we have here, right? There are a lot. There are like thousands of them, but mostly the ones that we're going to be talking about the most is going to be ServiceNow, and you can see I have them in bold. ServiceNow and then Jira. A lot of people will say Jira. It's not Jira, please. If during the interviews I catch you saying Jira, I'm just gonna ask for your address, come to your house, and just you're gonna have to pay me or do something because it's not Jira, it's Jira. Okay. Um, ServiceNow and Jira are the two main ones that you basically see. Back then, it used to be TFS, Team Foundation Server, or it's called DevOps, right? That's what they call it now. Back then, when they used to use Waterfall, that's what they used to mainly use TFS. So it's called Team Foundation Server. And then, of course, we have Remedy, right? I'm pretty sure some of you guys who raise my hand, who on here have heard about all of these tools or used them before? Anyone? Okay. Anyone else? Yep. I see the people on camera. How many people are on camera? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Only 7 people. I don't see anyone else on camera. Silas, did they send you a message? Okay. Now I see Jasper. Okay. All right. So these tools that you guys see are kind of like, the go-to for our work services, right? And they cost a lot of money, right? I was working with one company that was just, their main job was just to manage the Jira services for the Department of, this was the Department of State, I believe. Yeah. And the company was paying them lots of money just to manage the tools for them, right? So you guys pay close attention, because using these tools, I promise you, every job that you're going to lay your hands on, you're going to be using one of these tools. So please pay attention and make sure that you're taking notes as well, because I'm going to have a pop-up quiz next class. Why is Yolanda looking at me like that?
This the first
Yeah.
class.
It's the first class. Yeah, I like pop-up quiz. I just want to make sure you guys are paying attention.
I don't think
Kiana, you got something to say? What was that?
He not biology.
I don't think you're Herbert anymore.
You don't
No.
think? I'll still be Yolanda's favorite. We go back in the days. All right. So,
Fred, it's Max. I don't
what is
know my message, but I was eating real quick because I just got home from work.
What was that?
I'm just eating.
Who's that?
It's Max. You said something.
Max.
You said something about cameras, but I sent a message saying I'm eating real quick because I just got home and I'll turn my camera on.
Man, you guys, Sally said no eating in class and you're eating.
I gotta eat.
Now the rule is if you're eating, you gotta buy all of us food. So I'll put my Cash App on there so you can, Cash App out all of us so we can buy food.
Send me your address. I'll send you Penn Station.
I bet. Okay. So introduction to ServiceNow, right? ServiceNow. Now, remember I was telling you guys these management tools are very expensive to maintain or to use. So Salis was kind enough to get you guys access to Jira, but we can't get you guys access to all of them because once again it's very expensive. So with ServiceNow, I'm just going to go over some of the pictures and some of the images that I took during some of the training sessions that we had. Okay, so you guys are not gonna use ServiceNow. You're not gonna have the hands-on experience in ServiceNow, but for Jira, for sure, you guys are going to get that experience. So there are 3 components in ServiceNow, right? And it's basically kind of similar. So ServiceNow, one thing I would say is within ServiceNow, Jira, TFS, and all those management tools, right? If you know how to use just one of them, right, you can use them all. They are very similar. So it's just like, sometimes how we have Facebook and Instagram. If you can use Instagram, you can definitely use Facebook, right? It's kind of similar. The interfaces is very similar. So you just have to know the basics, right? Now, this right here is called the application navigator, right? The application navigator. What does that do, right? You know how you have, when you go on Google, right, you search for, let's say, houses in Miami, right? And then they pop up, right? Then you have a list of, houses that you have to search, right? So this application navigator will kind of give you all the applications that we have or all the houses that we have in Miami, right? And then you kind of go through it and select the one that you want, right? So that's kind of what the application navigator do for you. And then this right here on the top is what we call the banner, right? So the banner will have, more of like who is using the application and, kind of more information about who the user is, right? So as you can see here on the banner, right, we have a system administrator, right? The person that's logged in is a system administrator. And what that means is this person will have the ability to do more things than, a regular user would, right? Because he's the administrator. It's a role-based, title for this banner, right? So every time you look at the banner, you're going to see who is logged in and so on and so forth. And then, of course, you're going to have the settings and then a question if you want to ask a question about, you're kind of lost and you want to ask a question about something. And of course, you have also the search. You can search, for some helpful hints and so on and so forth. And of course, you have a live chat also as well. You can chat with an agent if you need any help. All right. So that's what the banner will give you. We have the content frame, right? Remember how I gave an example of searching Miami on Google. The display that pops up is going to be more of like the content frame, right? And once you selected the information that gives you, that's what we call the content frame, right? So this right here, what I select on the application navigator, right, is going to be displayed in the content frame. Does that make sense? So let's say I select the home page, it's going to be displayed on the content frame. Make sense? Pretty clear? Okay. Okay, pop-up quiz, let's go. Just kidding. All right. So any questions? You guys clear? All right, good. All right, so now I explained the banner, right? So the banner basically sits on top of every page and the controls are restricted based on user roles, right? Remember, I told you guys about the system administrator logging in. So the administrator uses, the admin user sees all of the controls, right? So if I'm an admin, I'm able to see whatever, Yolanda is using or whatever Jasper is using. I'm able to see all the controls that, and I can basically give Yolanda or Jasper access to whatever they want, right? So because I am the system admin, I manage that, right? So the banner shows which user is logged in. So if you're logged in and maybe there's someone log in at a workspace and didn't log off, I can just come in there and then take a look at the banner and see, hey, who logged in? And I can say, okay, Yolanda logged in or Max logged in, whoever is on the page logged in. We have the application navigator as well, like I explained. So we use the application navigator to access applications and module pages, right? So on the side, on this side right here, on the left, right, these are like kind of like modules, right? Or what we call channels. Some people will call it channels. So, like Instagram channel, whatever channel you guys will follow, right? It's going to be popping up on your kind of like the home page, right? And then you select that model and then you keep following those models. So that's what this is for. So also we use, it kind of also have a filter, right? To locate the application. So on this right here, on the application navigator, right? Let's say you're looking for something like a home page, right? And it's not on this list here. What you want to do is you can filter it out, right? Once you have a filter, you can filter it out and then you can select, say, the home page, and then it takes you to the home page. One thing also that I want to explain on this, it's right here, it's your favorite, right? If let's say the homepage is your favorite and you want to keep coming to the homepage, you can basically just click on it and then add it to your favorite. So every time you get on it, you get access to that, homepage. And then this is the self-service page, right? So when you're on the self-service page, you're going to see a list of these items right here, which is going to be the most basic ones you see will be the homepage, dashboard, service catalog. Also, you will see incidents, in which I'm going to get into in a little bit. That are some of the most common ones you're going to see. Also, you're going to see knowledge, and then this right here is like a timer to see, like what like you can. It's more similar to like the favorite, but with this one right here, this timer right here, you just use it just to filter out some of the channels that you mostly would like to visit, right? So that's what the application navigator does.
That the
Which one?
the timer thing.
The timer, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
For reset, exactly. Thanks, Kayana. And then, of course, we have also the content frame, right? So the application navigator will give you, where you want to filter to search and all that, right? And then the content frame is basically going to this. Remember how I talked about, going on to Google and then searching something like, let's say, houses in Miami, and then it's going to be popping up with, all of the list of houses in Miami. So basically the content frame would show, sorry, I need to move this out of the way because I can see. So the content frame will show or would display content pages when users select modules in the application navigator, right? So when you're, come on. So when you're in the application navigator, whatever you select here is going to be showing up here in the content frame. Once again, the pages in the content frame render data based in many ways, right? So on Google, once you search houses in Miami, it could pop up with maybe 10 or 15 links that you can click on, right? So that's what, based on the data that's visible in Miami, in Google, that's where you're going to pull up in the content frame. Then you can select from that, right? So the most basic page types are list and then forms, right? I'm going to get into list and forms. Once again, as discussed, the most ones you see will be the list forms, dashboards, right? A lot of companies are using dashboards now, service catalog, service portal, and also the knowledge base. I'll get into list and forms, but for the dashboard will kind of like track the amount of tickets that is being, and once again, you guys are not going to be very familiar with this, but when I say tickets, you guys are going to say, what the heck is a ticket? Don't worry, I'll break it down. Like, let's say a team is able to solve like 20 or 40 tickets, right? As compared to what they're supposed to solve within maybe a sprint, the dashboard is going to display everything that, a user does. So let's say you have, remember how I used the timesheet as an example for you guys as a management tool? When your manager wants to see what time you came in and what time you left, he's going to go to your employee dashboard, right? And then on the employee dashboard, he's going to select Kiana or Max, right? I'm only mentioning you guys' name because you pop up on my screen so much. I think I've seen Yolanda so much, so I just wanted to use someone else. So once your manager selects the employee dashboard, right? Then he can see, okay, Max came in today at 4 o'clock and he left at this time, and then it's going to be displayed kind of like in the data, kind of it's going to be displayed in a data form, so he can read that data and say, okay, Max came in at 4, and he left at 2, came back in, went on lunch break, didn't give all of us, and so on and so forth. Yeah, I'm getting on you, Max. So next time you better get us lunch. Is it dinner? Yeah, dinner too. So also the service catalog, right? Remember I talked about the service catalog. This is where maybe you have an issue, right? And then you go on there to more like a setting to tell users that, hey, I need some service done on my service now, and then just come in there and make sure that with this service catalog, users are getting stuff fixed, right? Of course, we have the service portal. This is, as a first time user, you're going to see this, right? What do you need help with? Okay. And then from here, you can say, maybe I need access to ServiceNow or something, right? Once you type that, it's going to give you a link, and then you start filling out those forms, and then you're going to get access, the service portal. Not the service portal, but ServiceNow itself. And also the knowledge base. So the knowledge base is going to give you access to a lot of training tools that you can use to get more knowledge on ServiceNow. A lot of people, I'm just going to brush off with ServiceNow at the moment, but if you like to go in depth, we have ServiceNow courses that people just take just to be like ServiceNow pros, right? Like developers, you can use ServiceNow for so many things, right? But in the IT world, mostly what we, the development team, does, we use it for, ticketing purposes, right? For tracking work, okay? And some developers go in there and use it for, so much stuff. It's so much back end stuff that you can do with ServiceNow. But for the sake of this class, I just want to talk about what the user sees, like, the user interface, what you're going to see at the front end, and so on and so forth. If you like to go into details, we are more than, let me know and I can get you access so you guys can, just go in there and then start taking other course and so on and so forth. Okay. So I talked about a list, right? So once again, I'm going back to the Google example, okay? So when you go on Google, you search houses in Miami, what's gonna pop up is it's going to pop up in a list form, right? Like maybe 10 issues are going to pop up. With those 10 issues, or 10 links are going to be popped up, right? With those 10 links, you wanna select which one, let's say maybe 10 houses in Miami or so on and so forth. That's the one that you're going to select, right? So this right here, it's going to give you the number. And also, one thing, let me talk about this right here. So incidents, right? Incidents are more like when you, have you guys, any of you guys ever called, right? Or a phone carrier or Verizon or whoever your carrier is, right? And told them, hey, I have my TV or my internet is not working, right? And then what they do is they're going to say, okay, hey, sir, I'm going to direct you to the IT support, right? And what they're going to mostly do is they'll say, hey, this is your incident report number. That's what this number is for, right? So this incident report number that they give you, they basically use stuff like us. And with ServiceNow, a lot of help desk people use ServiceNow. So once they give you that incident number, you're going to see it's mostly going to start off with INC, or depending on how the tickets or how the company is set up with their system. But within ServiceNow, it's going to start off with an incident number, and then they'll ask you, hey, what's your incident number? And then you're just going to read it to them, 001441. And then they're like, oh, okay, I do see your incident. Now, once they type that in, what they see is whether the ticket is open. Now, this is what we call a ticket, right? So think of it as your ticket that you take to the movies all the time. I'm pretty sure a lot of people here like movies. I know Ima as well. He like a lot of movies, that guy.
Yeah, I bet. Please.
So it's gonna give you the description, right? A short description. So as you can see, this example right here, right? The person is saying that my Dex phone does not work, right? It's a ticket that they basically put in, and then who the caller is, and then we talk about the criticality or the priority of the ticket, and then the state and the category of which the ticket is within, right? This field right here, it might be different based on what the company modifies your ServiceNow to look like. But most of the time, you're just going to have the description, the criticality, and also the state, right, in which the ticket that we're reporting about is in. So once again, a list is a content page displaying 0 or more records from the same table. It's going to have rows and columns to organize the list, right? So within these rows, these are like the rows and these are like the columns, right? Within these rows, you're going to have maybe 10, 12, or 13 links that's going to show up within this display. Now, what does the list entail, right? It could be searchable, it could be sortable, and also editable, right? Now, the first one is to search, right? You're going to enter your search button here, right? You're going to click on this, and then you're going to search based on what you want to search. So if I want to search incident number 00042, I would just come here and then just search in this field, and it's going to display that number for me. Also, you can sort it by clicking the column, right? So what you can do is you can click on this thing right here, this arrow right here, and it's going to give you a way to sort it out, right? You can sort it out from maybe the newest incident to the oldest incident, right? So I'm pretty sure you guys have used a lot of these, features in other applications, but it's just a matter of you, getting to it and practicing, and you're just like, oh, I see this right here. I can use this, and playing around with these features to see what each of them does. And one thing about it is once you, as a first-time user, right, once again, you have the knowledge base, study guide or whatever it is, right? You can always go on there and try using it to see how it's going to be of help to you, right? Sometimes if you don't know how to use it, you just YouTube it. Like, how do I put descriptions in ServiceNow? And it's going to give you like a step-by-step process, right? But also editable, you can, if the permission allows you, right, you just want to double click a field, and then basically you'll be able to edit whatever it is that you want to edit within this incident. Okay, so let's say I want to edit something from the incident. What I want to do is I want to double click it, and it's going to open up a form for me to do whatever I want to do with that incident. But once again, it's based on permission, right? Whatever permission you have. And pretty sure only an admin will be the person who will be able to edit. Kiana can go in there and then try to edit, Yolanda's work, unless maybe she's given permission to, right? So, you guys, and once you go in there to edit someone's work, whoever is the reporter, right? Whoever reported the incident gets emails, right? That, hey, someone is working on your application, is editing stuff on your application. Whatever you have in that incident will be in that email, and whatever the person edited is also going to be in that email. So you're not going to lose track of, whatever it is that you are editing. Does that make sense? Any questions? Okay. Next slide. Also, we have filters, all right? I'm pretty sure you guys have used filters back in the day. I'm not talking about Instagram filters now. You're looking like, these are different types of filters, okay? So filters determine which table record or are displayed in a list, right? So you guys went through SQL, right? Sam and you guys went through SQL. So this is where your SQL skills will come in, right? So one thing I like about SQL is you don't have to basically memorize everything, right? And like I'm telling you guys, sometimes at work, Google becomes like, my best friend, right? If I want to search anything and I want a query for it, I'll just go on Google and just type in, and it's going to give me that query, and I'll just go in there and, just plug it in, and it's going to display everything for me. So you can filter out based by what is active, right? And it's true, right? So, and also you can filter out based on the description and contains maybe a phone number and or, so you can filter based on the query that you guys have, right? Once you have all this information, and this one is not like you're going to be the one typing in. As you see here, you have, like a button here that's going to give you like, it's going to give you options, right? So you can probably say, hey, tickets, I'm looking for ticket that's inactive, and maybe it's true or maybe it's false, versus, a short description, and also, like that contains maybe the phrase or so on and so forth, right? Once you do that, what you're going to do is you just hit run, and then it basically pulls the information for you. Also, you can save it. If I run a query, I can save that query, and the next time I come, I don't have to go back and try to put in the same query again. I could just go back to my saved queries and just use that query to run out and pull up the report that I need. Okay. So once again, the filter determines which table record are displayed in a list. When a developer creates a list module, the filter conditions are set, right? In an example, only records with the active fields value of true appear in the list. So if I'm looking for a filter and I'm saying, hey, I want all the houses in Miami, it's not going to display all houses in Alexandria, right? It's only going to display the true houses in Miami, okay? And that's a broad example, but that's how these worked. Questions before I move on to the next one? You guys,
Sure. So what does ServiceNow, what kind of application does it fall under? Does it fall under, I know it's a web application, does it fall under client server, or what kind of application is this?
a client server. You're going deep into.
Oh, no. I just wanted to know what kind of application it is. Like, how you said some people can log in, Jasper can log in and you cannot go edit the thing. So I'm thinking of it as what kind of application it is. That's what I wanted to know.
Yeah, it's so this one is going to be.
So you can use it. If I can chime in, you can use it. It can be web based, and it can also be client server, because it can also talk to other servers, right? But it's a web based application as well. You can
Oh,
put in URL and get to that page. So
is this set?
yes,
I appreciate it, bro.
no problem.
Yeah. So if yeah, Sam, thanks for that. If we're talking about, the client service, right? The client might have a different, interface versus what the team does, right? So an example will be, we might have, I have a client who uses ServiceNow, right? As their ticketing system, and we use Jira, right? So there's no communication within ServiceNow and Jira, but in some ways or form, we tend to have someone who has a knowledge of both ServiceNow and Jira. So what the client does is they use ServiceNow to do their ticketing system, and then what I do is mostly I'll go in there to get what information they need within their tickets and then come and input that within our team. So our team will also have visibility of, what the client is basically working on, right? Because there's no communication between ServiceNow and Jira. Any questions? We're good? Okay. So remember, I was talking about forms, right? What is a form? Now, when you when you click, remember on this page right here, right? And I said a user needs to double click on this one, right? When you double click on this thing right here, what is going to be displayed is a form, right? For you to fill out. Sometimes you might not have any incident on there, right? And what you need to do is basically you want to put in a new incident, right? When you click on add new, right? You click on new on one of the fields, right? It's going to be on the top that says like add new incidents, right? Once you click on that, what is going to be displayed is going to be displayed a form, right? So within this form, you have to fill out, think of it as who has worked in a health environment. You guys fill out an incident response form, right? And all that, right? That's the same thing you're filling out here. So for instance, the incident number will be automatically given to you once you click on, report or, create a new incident. The incident number will automatically be generated to you, and your name, the name of the caller, whoever is, calling. This field right here might be edited. You can maybe you can report based on maybe someone's behalf, right? So let's say I am the help desk personnel and someone from the building has called and they want me to put a ticket in on their behalf, then I can edit it and then put the person's name there, provided the person have access to ServiceNow. They're going to be showing up here and I can put their name there. The category of the call, you can see this one has to do with hardware. And then on subcategory, we don't really do the type of service. Once again, the form will be based on what the company wants you to fill, right? So you might go into a company and, you might not see all of these, but these are like the basic things that you see within a form, right? The type of service the call is for, the service that it's offering, configuration of the item, also contact type. Did the person contact by phone, by email, so on and so forth. The state, these are always accurate. You have to always have the state in which the incident is for, and then also the impact, right? And also the urgency. You guys talked about impact and urgency during requirement gathering. Yes, no? Maybe so. Okay.
No.
No? Okay. I think we will dive into that as well. The priority level of, the ticket, and then also assignment group, and also who it's assigned to, right? Now we talk about the short description, what the call is about, and also, so the short description is going to be more of like your title, right? So my DEX phone does not work, right? So whenever anyone opens up the ticket, that's the first thing they're going to be displayed right here, right? My DEX phone does not work. So that's the short description. And then once you have it in there, you're going to have the main description. So we know the DEX phone is not working, but this person is unable to dial out or receive phone calls, right? So this is what the person is reporting, and whoever is going to have this ticket, we just click on it and then see what the ticket is about. So the form, again, is a content page displaying fields and values for a single record from a database table. Forms have 1 to 2 column layout, a 2-column layout, or a mix of both, right? Forms are open for modules in the application navigator or by clicking a record number on the list. So within the, once again, I talked about, clicking on these records, you can see a form, or within the application navigator, you can basically start up a new form right here. Okay. We talked about forms. Now, sections. Okay. This is the last part right here. So once you have that form, right? Once you fill out that form and that form is already generated, you have something that's called the section, right? And within the section, it's going to be underneath the forms, right? What the section is going to do is it's going to give you a note, right? And it's going to give you related records and resolution information, okay? So let's say I had an incident in, right? And that incident is already, completed. What's going to happen is I'm going to update the work notes. So for instance, this person was saying her phone DEX does not work, right? I go in there and then I check it. Let's say I'm an IT personnel, a hardware personnel, right? I go in there, I check it and see that maybe their cord was not in the right, or maybe their power cord was taken out of the phone, and that's why they can't dial a call. I just connect the power cord back in there, and then they're able to, receive a call or hear a dialing tone, right? And what I'll do is I'll just update the work notes and say, hey, I plugged this in, and now the user is able to hear, the tone. And remember how I was talking about, activities, how you're going to be receiving emails. So whoever creates the first, ticket is going to have an email, and whoever is going to edit is going to also get, emails based on, what they edit versus what was already on the incident, right? And also, so as you can see, this is activity number 2, as we discussed, so on and so forth. Like all the comments that each person is going to do is going to be displayed on here. So if a user comes in and then they change maybe the criticality of, the form, maybe I change it from 1 to 2, maybe from 1 to 2, then it's going to display that Godfrey changed the criticality of, the form from maybe 1 to 2, right? So those are going to be displayed on here. So forms may contain sections are logical grouping of fields. In the baseline case, sections are rendered as tabs at the bottom of the page, right? So these are the tabs that we talked about. So you can also click on related records to see what, records are kind of related to the incident that you already put on there. And then we have the resolution information where you click on to see what are some of the reasons they did to work on that ticket. All right. Does that make sense? Yep. What time is it? It's 10:51. I want to give you guys like 15 minutes break, and then we come back for our pop quiz. Right. If you all score A, Max is gonna buy us food. If you guys so you guys need to review over the materials, and as we come back, I hope you took good notes, right?
Pop what?
What was that?
Pop what?
Quiz.
Ha.
What is ha? I was saying this the whole time. That means you weren't paying attention.
I thought you said
You said next 2 weeks, not next 15 minutes. You said next 2 weeks.
So you guys